So when would you pay your stock pigeons up, Brian, to breed quite a few youngsters? Because you always like a lot of youngsters to go through your hands to find a few. So when would you pay your stock birds up?
I pay my stock pigeons up in the middle of January.
You don't pay up in like your December like some do?
No.
Always middle of January?
I find them pigeons, I've done it, don't get me wrong, I've paid up end of November.
Yes.
And just get rings on them.
I've got you, yeah, when you get them, yeah.
At one time, when I could get rings at 10th one year, I went to Belgium and got some rings. And rung them with Belgium rings and then transferred them.
Right.
But I found out them pigeons are never any good.
Right.
They might be good young birds, but they never carry on.
So you better, you would say, before Blackpool, about 15th of January,
yeah.
you'd pair all your stock
Way
birds
before
up.
Blackpool, like, yeah.
And would your race birds all be paired roughly at the same time and then transfer your best?
No, what I do, there's 3 racing lofts.
Yes.
And I'll pair 1 racing loft up with them, with them
stock birds
with
on the
them
15th of, roughly the 15th
yeah.
of January.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you float some of them?
And then the stock birds' eggs goes under them.
Under them, they would be probably yearlings, wouldn't they, Brian?
Yeah, that's
probably
right.
not bothered about much of
Well,
them.
when I say I pair 1.5 lofts up.
Yes.
And then 10 days later.
So we're talking beginning of
Well,
February now.
sorry, 20 days later. Because
probably 5th or 6th of February, you'll be pairing your next loft up.
That's right.
Right. Then would you pair your next loft up about Valentine's Day, Brian?
And then I take the eggs again.
Right.
So I let my stock birds lay twice with a 10-day rest.
Yes.
You know, I let her then lay. She sits eggs 10 days and take eggs away.
Take eggs
and
away.
Then let her go down again, and then she can do that twice, and then I'll let her rear a 3rd round of youngsters.
I've got you. And what about your actual, your latest racing loft, Brian, for flying all your national races right through to 500? When would they be paired up? At your latest date of your pairing of your racing pigeons?
The latest date will be
of your 3 sheds.
Be about 1st week in February.
Right, 5th of February,
something like that. Yeah.
And that would be ideal to fly all the way through the programme to July.
I've flown all the way through. I always used to, when I had a lot less pigeons when I was working, I used to pair everything up on 23rd of January. And,
right.
And I remember sending a cock to 500 mile and he top fed, and he cast his first flight the morning I basketed to go to 500 miles.
So that were roughly Wednesday, would it be Wednesday for 500 then, Brian?
Wednesday, it was Wednesday.
So he'd only just be probably busted on Liberation or not even piped through?
It wouldn't be piped through, no.
So it just shows you that pigeon, most fanciers would say would be sore, that pigeon never made any detriment.
I don't think it does, personally.
So it's pigeon at the end of the day?
I don't think them first 2 or 3 flights bothers a pigeon.
No. Are you a big believer in wings then, Brian? Because some people say they don't look at these wings and they're not bothered. Are you a big believer that nothing should go after 2.5 flights because they go into a soft body moult, on the 4th and 5th flight? Would you say after 7.5 flights at 540 on day, would you say stop the pigeon, it shouldn't go in no more?
I think you're about right there.
Because I'm a big believer in wings. They keep telling me it don't matter, but
well,
I've experienced it, and I've always worked on wings, wing fairies.
Well, I'll tell you something, and I dropped one on this pigeon. It were in 05, a yearling cock.
Yep.
And he come back late at night from Pickerville as a young'un, and he fretted his first
flight.
Second flight.
Second flight, yeah.
Because he wasn't dark system.
Yes.
And he fretted his second flight. And I sent him, it was 14 days on eggs when I sent him.
Right.
And we're rushing about, and I was saying to him, I said, when he drops that second flight, he'll do some damage, this pigeon.
Yeah.
And I missed him. I missed that he'd done it. And I sent him, he must have cast it that morning and he went.
So that fretted flight, once he casted it to his new flight, obviously then he got his old flight, because they always say sometimes when they've had a bad flight, they're not so good the following year, don't they, if they've had any stress.
Well, he cast that flight, and it was an hardish day, and he come from fillets, and he got second fet, second combine, and he should have topped it. But
and how far would that be then, Brian?
Fillets 330.
Oh,
332, I think.
Yeah, about 312 to me, 313. Yeah.
He dropped with a Scottish strag hen, and he was driving her on roof, and he got beat with .23.
Of top it, so it just shows you that pigeon were right, and he got that flight out, which proved
he cast that flight. He must have cast that flight during the day as he was basketed on Thursday for that race.
It just shows, doesn't it? What about foam spots then, Brian? You know when you look up the keel, and obviously when you get your skin pure pink, not black, does that make any difference on the foam? or your foam spot as it goes up and
I
down the
never
keel?
look, I don't believe in
But
it.
you do believe in the wings.
Wings, I believe
The wings
in.
are a must.
Yeah.
What about?
I think, I shouldn't say this, but I think somebody spotted this and they tried to make themselves sound important
right.
by getting on about these foam spots.
I think pigeon tells you if it's right.
Oh, of course it does.
It tells you in
You
various
see
other.
it changes.
It changes in the way it goes out loft, the way it goes in the shed, and the character of the pigeon does change.
Changes to look at it.
But the wing, I do believe, is
do.
most important. What about looking out throats, Brian? Does that tell you anything?
Oh, it does, aye.
Looking
out throat.
Can you tell it on
colour at throat?
Colour at throat, and when the pigeon is on form by looking into the throat. And when do you think it is vital?
Something I like to see is a nice clean throat and
no phlegm at all,
Yeah.
just a nice clear throat.
Yeah.
No speckles or anything.
No, I don't like to
Yeah.
see that.
What about eye sign, Brian? Have you any theories on eye sign?
Yeah, eye sign, I believe in it 100%.
100%.
For breeding.
That's what I'm going to ask you. I mean, I could tell you my theory, but it's Mr. Clayburn's I'm wanting for the whole world to be listened to. Say for breeding now, obviously we know when you pair your stock birds up, what type of eye would you pair for breeding? Would you pair a strong-eyed cock into a weak-eyed hen?
Yeah, you
like
want
a strong iris to a weak eye?
You want different eyes together.
Yes.
As to break up, I think.
That's right. Yep.
But I once had 2 green-eyed hens, mother and daughter. I've only ever had 2.
Yep.
They were mother and daughter.
Right.
And the daughter bred me the casserole winner.
Yeah, 28,000 pigeons. Yep.
And the
But what was she? A green-eyed hen?
She was
Was she a
green-eyed.
very strong green-eyed hen?
strong green-eyed hen.
What
Right
cock?
round a circle.
Can you remember what cock or what type of eye he was paired to that hen to breed that?
He was
openly?
yellow-eyed.
A yellow-eyed, but a lot weaker than
A lot
the eye.
weaker than
yes,
her.
so it was different. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. Yeah.
And a mother bred me several pigeons.
But she was a similar type of eye as her daughter.
There was a great pigeon man in Sheffield, I don't know if you ever knew him or heard of him, Pat McGrath.
Pat McGrath, yes, yes.
And Pat looked at them 2 hens and said to me, he said he'd never seen hens like them.
Never seen eyes like them.
And,
Yeah.
and they were Delbar pigeons. And
Yeah.
What 2 fantastic breeding hens they were.
Yep. So even now, Brian, when you're breeding your stock birds up now, you'd have a weak eye, a strong eye, to a weak eye.
That's right. Or like if you've got a violety coloured eye,
Yeah.
put that to a yellow.
Put it to a yellow. You
mean, if you
won't
only got-
matter up strength on them as long as it were at
You
one
want
to other.
opposites.
Yeah.
You know, opposites. But if you can get something like violet on circle, but if you can get a green, you're
Yeah.
a lucky man.
You're a very lucky man.
I think so.
That's good. Yep. So basically, we've gone into when you pair your pigeons up, what type of eyes you would like to be a stock, top stockman like you yourself. I mean, some fanciers keep saying they breed certain amount of pigeons and they're all good ones. But I mean, I've had quite a few pigeons in my hands, and it's never come to mind that every pigeon's been a good one.
I don't believe that. I've got pigeons all these years, and I've never.
You've had them and bought them off the best, bred them off the best. And what would your theory, Brian? And how many would you breed to start 2008 season? How many youngsters would you breed?
I breed 200.
So basically, every year you have 200 for yourself.
Yes.
Right, and you have 140. Is it on the darkness system?
On the dark system, which you
But
can.
you'll come to darkness system in a minute. We'll ask how and when and why and what you do to race on that system. But so you have 140 on the actual darkness system.
Yes.
And then you have 60 on natural.
Natural.
So these are basically
The natural system, we might not get that many this year, but I try to get me longer distance, or the pigeons that supposedly longer distance,
so
on natural system.
natural. So hopefully they're going to have a more natural moult, even though it doesn't make any difference.
And I sometimes wonder whether it's right to do that because I've got some wonderful dark pigeons carry on and win top prizes.
Yeah.
And I look at my natural pigeon, you're trying to get them down to the coast and they've got swallow tails and they've got flights missing and they've got the bare on heads and that, and you think, well, wouldn't they be better going in this good condition as young birds?
Yeah. So they're not stressing them as much.
And this year I've bred some long distance pigeons and put them on dark and just going to see what happens.
That's right. So you start off with like 200, Brian. And how many decent pigeons would you say, even though there's nobody spends no more money than Brian and Mavis Clayburn, is there? Going to Holland, what you've done in past, you're always looking for spending, you spent thousands, Brian, haven't you?
Right.
And how many would you say, after 200 pigeons per year, would basically be on the average of a tiny, left at the end of the year, what you could say, maybe it's going to be a good pigeon or...
If I get 3 or 4, I'll be happy.
Yeah. So obviously, they're not all good ones, as you know. So if this is year in, year out over 40 years, Brian, you've gone through that method, haven't you?
People talk daft, in my opinion, when they start talking about all these they're producing because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You've only got to look at anything in life, look at horses.
Yeah.
Look at Mac Tombs, money they spend on millions and millions.
That's right.
And how many derby horses do they get?
Yeah, they're not all good ones, are they?
Oh, they're bloody hell.
They spend millions, and end of the day, they might come through one in a lifetime.
I mean, some people call a gut pigeon a pigeon that wins a club race, and it's 50th fed.
Yeah.
Not worth keeping.
But that, you know, but that in their eyes, that might be the best they've got. So, you know, it's what. But in your eyes, on an higher level, obviously, it's not what you want. But to their eyes, it might be. You know, it's basically a card winner.
We've got probably to race this year nearly 100 pigeons, old pigeons.
Old birds in total, and that's on your 3 systems, isn't it?
I mean, most of them are, with a lot of yearlings, not, you know.
That was another thing I was going to mention, Brian.